First qualifying for Sunday's German Grand Prix here at Hockenheim. This is the second of the two Sauber entries. Nick Heidfeld on track was a second slower than teammate Heinz-Harald Frentzen this morning in the free practice session. Not at all happy with the balance of his car, down in 18th place out of all. Just to remind you, the format here as Ralf Furman looks on. He'll be going out next in the Jordan. The first man to go out on track is the World Championship leader, and then we work our way down through the point scorers until we get to the man who's last currently in the World Championship. Ironically, that is Justin Wilson, but his replacement in the Minardi team, because Wilson has moved to Jaguar now, is Chiesa, and Nicholas Chiesa, and he is going to be going last after Wilson. Heidfeld then, 2 points on the board. He's had two 8th place finishes so far this season. Not a vintage season by Nick Heidfeld's standards, nor by this man's standards, Peter Sauber. A lot of work to be done, I think, to get Sauber back on track for 2004.
Yes, Heidfeld's manager out and about in the paddock trying to get a crowbar in anywhere he can for a seat for his relatively young charger, Nick Heidfeld. As you said, James, not really been one of his finest seasons. And he didn't need Frentzen turning up and giving him very much a run for his money. That's for sure. And of course, McLaren took Raikkonen over him when he still actually, I believe, contracted to McLaren Mercedes-Benz is Nick Heidfeld, with options for the future. But he could do with a solid performance this weekend. Sauber really struggling, and their new wind tunnel doesn't come on stream until this winter, and therefore will it really have an effect on the 2004 car? No, I don't think it will. That's the problem they've got at the moment.
Well, I've actually been to Hinwil to take a look at that about a month and a half ago, and you have never seen anything like it. You can get an articulated lorry inside the windpipes. It's much bigger than anything anyone else has got in Formula One. Absolutely staggering piece of kit. And once they do get it working, it should make a huge difference for them. So they're in a race against time there. Heidfeld, how's he doing? First sector was quicker, half a second almost quicker than Heinz-Harald Frentzen, his teammate. His middle sector a couple of tenths quicker. This should be quite a bit quicker then than Frentzen. He goes 13th, and he's slower than Frentzen. How about that? Final sector gave a bit away as well.
Yeah, remember Frentzen made a big mistake too in the first sector, didn't he? He had to go right around the outside. So still not working out for Nick Heidfeld then. I heard a story that, of course, they use Ferrari's last version of engine, whatever that might be at any given time. And I heard they may be given access to Ferrari wind tunnel models to get a datum point, because they've lost their way aerodynamically until they can get their new tunnel up and running, calibrated, get the models in there, make the pieces, and then get them out on the racetrack. It'll be 2005 before that has any great effect, so they need to shortcut that system somehow.
Yeah, and of course with the new rules brought in over the winter, they are actually able to do that, aren't they? You could actually, if you wanted to, go and buy an off-the-peg Ferrari and paint it Sauber colours and go racing. That's one of the new rules and the new regulations of Formula One. So certainly that makes an awful lot of sense for the Sauber team to try and get a bit of a technology swap with Ferrari. They do so much else together. Here's Ralf Furman then on track. Big lock-up into turn one. We're used to seeing that on single lap qualifying this season.
Yeah, he got away with it. The inside front tyre, luckily relatively unloaded and almost unimportant as you get nearer to the corner. You've got to have it settled down before you want to turn in. He was slightly quicker than Fisichella in the first sector, was Ralf Furman. Still downshifting on the apex of the hairpin there, surprisingly. And now the sweeping right-hander, that's a great thrill in the Formula 1 car. Not much to do for the driver. It's just interesting how the car will go through there and not even really notice it at those sort of speeds. And the back end of the car just looking very willing to step out there on Ralf Furman's car. Middle sector 36.2, and that's identical to Fisichella, his teammate. So Ralf Furman in with a tenth of a second in his pocket chance of beating his teammate this afternoon.
Well, Fissy was 2.6 seconds slower than the pace-setting Williams of Ralf Schumacher. Can Furman go one better than that? He comes across the line now and goes 15th, and indeed he edges out Fisichella by 6/100ths of a second. And well, that's a pretty good effort by Ralf Furman.
It's a fickle world, Formula One, and it's little moments like that make a difference. I mean, they're vying for 15th and 16th. Only Villeneuve slow because he didn't do a lap time. Yet, you know, being quicker, for Furman to be quicker than his much more experienced teammate, who's led Grand Prix, who's won a Grand Prix back in Brazil this year. And, you know, all those little things count for you.
Why is it, you think, because we've seen that recently, that Furman's been right on Fisichella's pace? He's gone quicker than him today. Is Fisichella demotivated, do you think, or what's the problem? Because surely if he's out there at the moment trying to get himself a top ride, as he is, surely he'd want to be doing the best he can, Fisichella.
Yeah, Fizzy should be half second quicker than Ralph, given his experience, knowledge of racetracks and setup and data and all the other things that go with that. So, you know, it is pressure. It is difficult for Fisichella. He's rather painted in a corner at the moment without the car underneath him, and time ebbing away rather quickly.
Here's Jos Verstappen. He must be looking down the pit lane rather longingly at Justin Wilson, his teammate up to the British Grand Prix, who's now driving a Jaguar. Mark Webber in one of the green cars, currently sitting in 4th place at the moment, and Jaguar have been bang on the pace all weekend here, and Verstappen must be wondering, well, it could have been me, but instead they took Wilson, and we'll be seeing him in a moment. He's the next man to go out. What's Jos Verstappen's first sector time been like? A 16.9, and that's the slowest, as you'd imagine, of anybody so far. Only just a little bit slower than Frentzen now.
Traction control cutting in even on direction change there for Jos Verstappen. 1.8 down. Again, that's matching the Jordans. So he's a fraction behind the Jordans at this stage. And as you said, James, in all the years Jos Verstappen's been trying to get himself. He did drive for Benetton, of course, when they were as a teammate to Michael Schumacher, when he went pretty well. But Wilson's come in, and after just a few races had the call upstairs, and he is left manhandling this around, and just gets himself, in fact fell away quite badly in the last sector. 17th out of the 18 runners. Ted has a line on Justin Wilson.
Yes, indeed, Martin. Justin, next man out. He was saying the best thing about this Jaguar is that it's so stable and predictable in his handling compared to his old Minardi. The only problem really in the Jaguar, he was saying, is that he's losing time in the fast corners because it's got so much more downforce and so much more grip, really, that he's used to. He's learning where to use it, how to brake later and get on the throttle earlier. He's not doing too badly so far, you've got to say.
No, he's not had much time in the car, and for me this is the highlight of the weekend, really, by and large, other than the tremendous World Championship challenge we've got going on at the sharp end. But how quickly and how well can Justin Wilson get up to speed in this Jaguar? And we were talking in the break, James, that we think if he can get this well into the 115s this afternoon, he will have done a fine job.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's something to look forward to then. A big question mark. How will Justin Wilson go in his first single lap qualifying effort? The Jaguar team are saying that they don't really mind. They're not going to put too much pressure on him. He's done plenty of laps in this car already today, well over a race distance, so he's got the feel for it, and he's certainly learned the track. His target, we reckon, is probably Jenson Button, who's currently 11th on a 15.754. That would be about 7/10 of a second slower than teammate Mark Webber. And given that he's just been around 8 and 9/10 through the pre-practice sessions, that would be a very, very good effort from Justin Wilson. So far, so good.
Very neat and tidy. No drama, no panic, no snatching of brakes, no apex missed. He was a couple of tenths adrift of his teammate down there at turn 2. And now he's half second down on Ralf Schumacher, but that is a great middle sector then. And again, a 10th down on teammate Webber. If he can keep this up through the final part of the lap, he's going to bury himself right in there amongst the Ferraris.
He is. He's going to trouble Michael Schumacher if he can keep this going. Justin Wilson on his debut for Jaguar. How has his final sector been? Has he got himself amongst the big boys? Yes, he has! He's faster than both Ferraris. Rubens Barrichello and Michael Schumacher are in the shadow of Justin Wilson. It's only Friday qualifying, we must keep our feet on the ground, but that was a super effort, just 0.3 of a second slower than Mark Webber, and I think Dave Pitchforth and Tony Pennell have found themselves a bit of a star.
We said if he could get within 5-6 tenths, he'll have done a stellar job. He gets it within 1/3 of a second of Mark Webber. Very little track time for Justin Wilson, and Nicolas Chiesa, the final man to run, is not running. Ted.
Martin, he's missed the red light. What happened? He came out of his pit garage. He was so careful on the throttle. I thought he needs to give a bit more throttle than that. And he stalled just about 10 meters shy of the white line. They managed to get him going, but he just missed it by about 2 seconds. As he was approaching the white pit exit line, the lights changed to red. He missed it by about 2 seconds. Bad mistake by all concerned, really. You've got to say, unfortunate for Chiesa on his debut.
Yes, so then Chiesa leaving the garage late, stalling the engine, missing his allocated slot for his qualifying run, and that's a great shame for him.
Yeah, well, he'll have another chance tomorrow, but some long faces on the Minardi stand. The two Williamses looking mighty strong here. Ferrari have got some work to do, but the hero of the day, unquestionably, Justin Wilson.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Martin. So here's the running order for qualifying 2. The slowest goes first. Villeneuve out early. Button just before Coulthard. The Ferraris, Wilson in the Jaguar. Teammate Webber between the Renaults before Montoya and Ralf Schumacher. A wonderful start at Jaguar for Justin Wilson.
Justin, I'm not sure if I should ask you a question or just stand here and cheer. That was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's unusual not to be looking at the back row, so I'm very pleased to thank the team. The car was just fantastic in that one lap. I've only done 2 runs on new tyres on low fuel, so trying to work out where to brake was a bit of an issue, but I got it right most of the time.
Ralph, are you surprised to be so far ahead of everybody else?
Yes, we are. I mean, we as I said, we thought to be consistent and good here and competitive at the same time. But I'm a bit surprised about Ferrari, but I'm sure that it will change till tomorrow.
The car was pretty good. It's been pretty good balance, and I was very pleased. You know, it was a pretty clean lap, so I'm pretty happy with that.
You seem to be miles ahead of the opposition.
Yeah, but you know, we have to wait and see. You know, it's a long way to go still. You know, Michael being the first guy out, track was in ideal conditions. You know, everybody that goes out afterwards, just the track is better and better and better.
Jarno, came together nicely for you at the end of the lap there, didn't it?
Yes, it wasn't too bad. Couple of little mistakes, but in general I'm pretty happy. So I'm looking forward for tomorrow and confident because I'm sure I can improve a little bit our performance.
You weren't hanging around out there, were you?
Enjoyed that one, yeah, it was really good. We had a pretty good balance in the car. Made a little mistake at turn 6, just asking a little bit too much of the rear on entry and a little bit of oversteer, but on new tyres you can recover that. So yeah, I was pretty happy. It's difficult to finish a lap with the stadium. It's very busy and you have to be very, very precise. So I enjoyed the lap.
Well done, Fernando. 2 Ferraris and 2 McLarens behind you. Are you surprised at that?
Yes, a little bit, because in Silverstone we were competitive, but here we are competitive again. So the team are very, very surprised, and we are very happy.
Were you surprised to be that much behind the Williams?
Yeah, but actually we only lost in the last sector, and once we got that one right, it should be okay.
Otherwise, how's the race car looking?
Yeah, it feels very good. Straight out of the first practice today, it was feeling good already, and we tested different tires, and I'm quite happy what we have now.
Does this have an effect on the rest of the weekend?
Not very much, no. We're still in a good position to do a good qualifying tomorrow, and hopefully have a good starting position for the race then.
Well, Jacques, Barrichello didn't appear to suffer in Silverstone from not doing a time on Friday, but I don't suppose that's much consolation to you right now, is it?
No, not much. We made some changes to the car, and the effect was bigger than we expected.
So no way you could catch it?
No, not there. It was too late.
How much is that going to compromise you for final qualifying?
Well, to be the first car out is never a good thing. I don't know. It's happened a few times this year. We're getting used to it.
So join us live this Saturday lunchtime for qualifying 2 from 12:40 on Sunday, race day. We are with you here on ITV1 from just after midday. Williams looked the absolute business here. Ralf Schumacher a full second faster than Big Brother, then the informed Montoya. But how about Justin Wilson, the British rookie, quicker than Michael Schumacher in Germany as well. Great stuff. Good night to you all.